Well, good morning, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It is the 13th of July, 2020, day 118 remote. For those of you who like countdowns, we are only 71 days until the start of fall, again, according to the sun here. You're not going to like the hot forecast. So, again, if you like cooler weather, you're going to be waiting a while because we actually think it's going to be a pretty hot, dry fall as well. Looking at a real quick summer recap again, according to meteorological summer, which meteorologists said start on 1 June. Pretty much halfway point if you count in that method. Very hot in the U.S., 1.3 degrees warmer than last year, third warmest in 35 years, so much above average national temperatures here this year. Cool spots, Pacific Northwest. Really hot spots there in the north central plains, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Nebraska areas, way above average temperatures. Flip-flop, though, in Europe. Europe, coolest in 6 years. Still 11th warmest in 35 years, a bit above average, but again, coolest in 6 years for Europe as a whole. Looking at rainfall across the world here, again, summer trends 1 June through 12 July. U.S. obviously very dry, 15% drier than last year. We're up to about almost 50% dry to drought-like conditions across the U.S., way up over last year's near record low when we only had about 8% of the country in dry to drought phases. So 14th driest in 35 years, below average U.S. rainfall. Europe is number one wettest. Again, very, very wet, wettest in 35 years, much above average for EU overall. Pretty dry there in Spain and parts of France, but again, the EU as a whole on the wet side. Looking at one thing that's extremely active here, obviously, is the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Already 6 named storms. We had Tropical Storm Faye move up the East Coast here and drenched our area here with 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in the eastern PA, New Jersey, New York City areas. Again, 6 named storms. That's a record fast start going back to 169 years. Very concerned here because it's obviously on parallel with 2005, even more than 2005. So again, we do still believe there's going to be an extremely destructive season, especially as we get into the August, September, October timeframe. For that New York City area, Long Island, Southeast Florida, and New Orleans area are the 3 highest risk areas that we believe will be impacted by a major hurricane this year. Looking at this week, 13 through 19 July, again, hard to believe, but 0.5 degrees cooler than last year, but still makes it the 6th warmest of the past 35 years, so much above average national temperatures. A little bit below normal in the Midwest there, but rainfall, driest in 14 years. A little bit of a flip-flop here. Driest in 14, second driest in 35 years. We'll see about that. That might be a little bit too dry, but again, drier than normal here for this week overall. So a good beach week if you're headed to the beaches or lakes. Next week, last full week of July, 20 through 26 July, 3.8 degrees warmer than last year, making it 3rd hottest in 35 years. So much above average national temperatures. If there is a cool spot relative to norms, it would be southern part of California. But most of the country, most states, way above average and much hotter than last year. Wetter than last year, 3rd west in 35 years. Again, much above average. We'll see about that across the Great Lakes, Appalachian Mountains. Again, TBD on all that. So looking at these 2-week trends here for the world as a whole, so the 13th through 26 July period, again, we see those cooler trends continuing across Europe and western Russia, but here in the U.S., almost wall-to-wall above average temperatures. So from really west to east, a pretty hot period here for the end of July. So with that, folks, we will be back here this time next week, maybe with a special guest, and we will talk to you then. Have a great week.